Hello, friends. Welcome. Welcome to yet another episode of Tea Talk with me, Owen Fernandez. I wish everyone who is on the call or who are going to see this later on in a replay a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening, wherever in the world you are. Today is the 7th of December 2021, and we are on episode number 63. The title of this episode today is How to Become Fearless. Friends, let me share this with you. Indecision, doubt, and fear are our three greatest enemies. In fact, you can call it the unholy trio. Where one is found, the other two would definitely be close at hand. Indecision is the seed of fear, which then slowly crystallizes into doubt. Be sure that these two will blend and surface as fear. The blending process is often slow, and that is why it's so dangerous. They germinate and grow without their presence being observed. And believe me, friends, fear is a form of energy. And if there is anything I know about energy, it is never created, not destroyed. So, in essence, fear doesn't just go away. If those of you who have followed me right from the start, in episode 7, streamed live on the 22nd of May 2021, we spoke about facing your fears. In fact, in that episode, I picked up certain material from the classic book of Napoleon Hill called, called Think and Grow Rich. There, I shared about the six ghosts of fear. And just to recollect, we talked about the fear of poverty, we talked about the fear of criticism, we talked about the fear of ill health, we talked about the fear of loss of love, we talked about the fear of old age, and of course, we talked about the fear of death. Now, through this, we develop indecisions in various forms, and these six basic fears translate slowly and steadily into a state of worry. And we all know that worry is the sister of fear. So, as I build up to start this episode, trust me, at one time or the other, every person suffers from some combination of these six fears. Most people are fortunate not to suffer from all six at the same time. Napoleon Hill, in fact, goes on further saying And I do agree with him that all other kinds and types of fears are of minor importance and are, in fact, just variations of these six fears. So, if you have just missed out episode number 7, please go to my YouTube channel and you will find it there. As I said before, all other fears are of minor importance and, in fact, just a subdivision or a variation of these six fears. For example, fear of failure that so many go through would fall into the category of fear of criticism. Fear of rejection would fall into the category of fear of loss of love. Now, Paul Martinelli, my mentor and coach, and who was voted number one coach in the world by Global Gurus 2018, once said, and I do remember very distinctly, he said, when fear enters into a mind, logic leaves. I repeat, when fear enters into a mind, logic leaves. So it's all about mindset. So, my question to you today, as I start this episode, is how do you face these fears? They're going to show up at some point of your life or the other, in some situation or the other. Would you fight or would you flee? Now, fleeing is a temporary option, and don't go for it. If it's going to surface in some other form at some point of time, how long are you going to flee? So, the next option is fighting. How would you do it? So, in this episode, friends, I will share with you 6 simple ways to fight your fears and thus become fearless. As I said before, and I repeat, it is more of a mindset than anything else. So, grab a cup of tea or coffee, take a comfortable seat, relax as we go deeper into this topic. Episode number 63, How to Become Fearless. And if you're on the call listening to my voice today, please let us know in the chat box where you are watching from. So let's deep dive. I see a good friend of mine, Peter. Welcome, Peter. So, friends, as usual, I would like to share a quote, and this time, as you will see on your screen, it's from Nelson Mandela. He said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. So there is an element of overcoming. Friends, fear is not something that we can escape because fear is just like any other emotion that is present within us. We can only learn to conquest fear or conquer fear and deal with it effectively. That's all, period. The fear that lives within us will definitely manifest itself in various forms when we are handling something that we truly care about. Emotion, energy in motion. So, if somebody would ask me, how would you define fear? I would simply put it this way, it's a belief. It's an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous and thus likely to cause us pain or to produce a threat. It's a belief. Successful people are often praised for being fearless. But, friends, in reality, it is not the absence of fear that we should be looking for in their life. Instead, we should appreciate their ability to fight, their resilience to overcome fear, their willingness to take risks, and in spite of all this, dream big and achieve it. So, there is no magic formula that will help you liberate yourself from fear. Even if they were to be a magic formula, it would not serve many purposes. So we need to learn to overcome fear by following a few techniques and methods. And I'm going to take you through these 6 steps. Friends, the first thing that we have to do is to make fear our friend rather than considering it as our enemy, because it's just lurking all around, waiting for an opportunity to create a havoc in your mind. So when you make friends with fear, this not only helps you to conquer fear, but also gives you the power to handle the situation effectively. Think about it. It's a matter of perspective. And I said, fear, unless and until it is a physical threat, which we are not talking about, we're talking about fears in the mind. The 6 ghosts of fear, as I spoke about before. So the first step is knowing that it is existing and it will acknowledge the fear. Friends, that's the first step, to acknowledge. We need to admit that we have fears, and it is normal to have fears in life. In fact, fear is something that is wired in our DNA. It sometimes helps us to keep ourselves safe, but sometimes when it goes across boundaries and limitations, when it becomes too safe, then it starts to take control of our lives. I remember the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, who is renowned for saying, "What we resist will persist." I repeat, what we resist will persist. What we feed will grow. What we starve will just vanish off or will die. The things we fail to acknowledge and accept sometimes sabotage our growth, and thus does not allow us to reach any level of success. Hence, the first and crucial step in becoming fearless is to confront the truth about what scares you the most. Acknowledge the fear. The second step that I would like to share with you is be objective. So what do I mean by that? We need to be objective in identifying and investigating our fears. We need to put a tag to that emotion. From where is it coming from? What could be the root cause? Is it a fact? Is it a truth? Or is it a lie? Or is it something that has been told to me about some person's experience in the past? And it just basically, you know, went into my system and settled there into my subconscious mind. So we should be objective in identifying and investigating our fears. Friends, once we are objective, it will be easy to ask ourselves the question as to where the fear is generating from, and what are the likely triggers, and how can we control those thoughts. It's all about awareness. It's all about noting certain things, the root cause. In fact, you can even consider fear as a symptom triggered by something that you must be aware of. Now let's take the example. When I started showing up, it wasn't very comfortable. I had some amount of doubt, some amount of indecision that led to my fear, about how exactly I'm going to handle this seated in my office all by myself with all these gadgets around. But slowly and steadily, as I said, what am I to lose? I'm showing up free. All I've got to do is take a step of boldness and let's see what happens. Be objective. The third point, which is following the second one, is be willing to make mistakes. Friends, as I said before many times in the past, We are perfectly made imperfect. We are bound to fail. Be willing to make mistakes. Believe me, not all successful people are fearless. They do have fears, but somehow they've made themselves stronger. As I talked about resilience, somehow they've made themselves in a position to fight it out, to resist them, to overcome them, and to be willing to take the risk. Once we are willing to take the risk, the emotional pain of making mistakes will slowly fade away. It will shed everything that comes our way. And then suddenly we will find ourselves, hey, listen, this was not as challenging as I expected. Confront it. It is okay to make mistakes. Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. There is no loss as such until and unless you define loss in a way in which you're not able to recover. There is good in everything that happens. It is okay to make mistakes and learn from them. Point number four that I would like to share with you is face your fears. And if they are massive or they're big, and if it's been there for a long period of time, face it slowly over a period of time. Take one step at a time. Start small and build your way up. Exposing ourselves to something that instills fear in us will help us overcome that fear eventually. As I said, befriend fear. And as we get increasingly comfortable with our fears, we stop feeling scared. For example, I know a lot of people who are absolutely scared of public speaking. Now, if you are on the call and if public speaking is a challenge to you, hear this from me. If you are afraid of public speaking, it's okay for a start, but don't be there. Start watching videos of people speaking in public. Then slowly start giving suggestions to yourself or your team and gradually start speaking all by yourself in front of a mirror or record your speech. And as you build up momentum and as you build up confidence, watching yourself, listening to yourself over and over again, doing fine tuning of what could appear to look better or good in front of a small crowd. Start with yourself, start alone, and slowly call your loved ones of somebody that believes in you, that knows that you are craving to get that breakthrough, that you're looking forward to overcome an obstacle of fear. And then gradually you start speaking with a little larger audience, and lo and behold, in a small amount of time, followed by a little encouragement and support from your loved ones, you would be speaking in front of many people and eventually even in public gatherings. So face your fears slowly over time. The fifth point that I would like to share with you is be optimistic and be confident. Now, friends, it is hard to find a silver lining in every situation, but it is always helpful to have an attitude to look out for it. Now, even in the midst of the crisis that we are going through, trust me, there are some good things that are happening. People are now reflecting a lot about their lives, their work, their purpose, meaning to life, significance. They have a lot of time, especially as we are in a lockdown, to think, to understand relationships, to place importance on things that matter. So, having a positive outlook helps us to gain control over the way we look at things. Yes, I do agree that fear could creep in at times, but it is a matter of choice, and we can actively choose to start looking at the brighter side, at the upside of things. The more positive we are, the less likely it is to experience the sudden impact or the sudden pangs of uncertainty. Be optimistic, be confident. It is hard to feel scared when we are confident in ourselves and in our ability. It's all about self worth, it's all about self confidence. We should start doing things that we are good at, continuously get better and better, keep practicing things that we aren't particularly good at, all the while maintaining a positive outlook with an intention of improving each day. And finally, friends, don't be afraid to stretch. Make the uncomfortable comfortable. We are living in a very fast paced, ever changing world. And thus, we need to stretch. We need to try new things. Fear is always a response to uncertainty. So, the more we are free to try new things, the more we will know how strong we are and how capable we are of handling our fears. Don't just sit there and be comfortable. Nothing grows in that comfort zone. Get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. It is the best way to tackle your fears. Once we realize how freeing it is to experience certain things outside our comfort zone, it is much easier to then overcome our fears and become fearless. So, acknowledge your fear. Know that it is around the corner. It's going to surface. It's going to show up at times unexpected. Be objective. Know from where exactly it's coming from. What could be the possible reasons? Be willing to make mistakes. Face your fears slowly over time. Don't just jump and handle it in thinking that you're going to do it. If it is a huge fear and if it's been in your life for a long period of time, take it one step at a time. Be optimistic, be confident, and try new things. So, at this point of time, friends, I would like to share a little bit about my new book, which is going to be launched on the 13th of December, which is just a week away from now. It's called Navigating Difficult Times. And this book is a compilation of 11 powerful stories of people who have overcome fear and seen the rainbow on the other side of a fierce storm that they have gone through. It's all about people, ordinary people, real true life stories of people who have overcome fear and extremely difficult situations in their life. Now, this book is encouraging and it's a good read, especially with the holidays around the corner. Trust me, if they can do it, you can do it too. So, here I would take the opportunity of sharing a small summary. And for those that are interested, it is available on Amazon both in Kindle form as well as in paperback form. It is available in Barnes and Noble, and it's also available at Zulon Press. So just let's have a look at what exactly this book is about and how it's going to help you overcome fears. Friends, in that book, if you can get hold of a copy, trust me, the chapter number 12, I have invited four expert psychologists to go through the stories of these 11 individual people coming from different parts of the world. And they have found out something, that fear was a common emotion in all the 11 stories. And since these people lived to share their stories with me, it means to say that they have overcome fear at that particular time when they experienced that difficult situation, or as I would put it, as a storm in their life. Friends, remember this. As George Adair said, everything you have ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Fears are states of mind, friends, and nature has endowed us as human beings with absolute control over our thoughts. But most people fail to realize that we are in control of our thoughts. So, you want to handle fear, if you want to be fearless, feed your faith and starve your fears. Be courageous, take some risks, don't fear to stretch yourselves. And in the process, there are many things that you will learn along the way. Trust me, when fear next time knocks at your door, open the door with faith, open the door with courage, open the door with confidence, open the door with optimism. As long as it doesn't kill you, I'm talking about a physical fear, there is a possibility. You can always overcome fear and be fearless by having a mindset saying that, hey, listen, I can overcome this. Be courageous, take some risk. The vibrations of fear, friends, pass from one mind to the other just as quickly as sound waves from a broadcasting station to a radio receiver. Be fearless. Thanks for watching, friends. You will find the references of what has been shared at the end of this talk. Feel free to use them further for your personal growth and development. Just in case, if you liked this episode, whether watching right now on my live streaming or later in the form of a replay, please comment and share it with others too. We are living in times where fear will always prop up. And if we as a human race would basically be enslaved to fear, we are definitely going to perish slowly. But the human race, as I said before, is extremely strong within. The human spirit just doesn't give up. All you've got to do is to take care of your thoughts, show up strong, and slowly and steadily you would be overcoming. So, as I said, if you like this episode, please comment and share. Also, you could go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. There you will find this video and all the 62 previous videos. In fact, there are more than 75 videos out there. And I'm sure you'll find something that would add value to your life. Remember, friends, the win is always within you. I, Owen Fernandez, am here to help you be victorious. Just in case, if you feel that you need to reach out to me, all you've got to do is just write me a mail at owen@owenfernandez.com, or at the end of the video you can find my telephone number, or you could find me on any 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 social media sites. As I part ways today, I just want to say this to you. I believe in you, and together we can. Stay safe. See you on the next episode on Tea Time with me, Owen Fernandez. Bye for now.